listening to BSI, the podcast with Benny Ferrell, and Michael Para. Enjoy!
You know, I wish it could have been more, but sometimes, you know, business gets in the way.
It was my decision. But yeah.
Question number 1. What actor would you cast?
I plead the fifth.
Welcome to BSI, the podcast. We are in episode 9.
I don't know.
Stop counting. At this
We're
point,
on episode.
if
We're
you
on
don't know the
episode.
number going into it, then don't count.
I don't care. We're on episode Will Ferrell, dude. This guy is coming on our show today. I'm still kind of wondering why he's coming on our show, but he's going to be here. Before we get to all that, I want to remind everybody: GoFundMe page. We need to get to 10,000. I think we're around 4,000 or 5,000. And I'm going to say it right now, and I'm going to say it for Sal, for Ike, and for myself. If we don't hit 10,000 on this episode, I'm not doing another podcast, dude. That's it. I'm done, Sal.
Until we hit 10,000.
No, I'm not.
Or are we done for good?
We need.
We're hanging them
we
up?
need 10,000, dude, for the people that are being negatively impacted in this crap, and this sucks. And everybody, I know not everybody can give, but like some that can. Let's do it, And so go on the GoFundMe. We got Will Ferrell on the podcast. I want to see 10,000 on that GoFundMe page. So make sure you go on there. It's I forget. I'll give the entire website for the GoFundMe page on the outro, but let's go on there. And then the other big news is we're going to start our own website where we're going to be able to upload the videos of all the podcasts that we've had. I think we can still get all the ones from season 1 as well. So that'll be cool.
Some of them, I think.
And we'll get all the ones from season 2 because a lot of people want to see that, especially during this time where maybe you're not driving in your car. You can just go on the internet and watch the podcast.
Well, they might get the website if we don't hit the GoFundMe. Nothing
That's
matters.
true. There won't be a website for anything if we don't hit the GoFundMe. That's right. But we'll have merchandise on there as well, where people can see like what it looks like, and you can buy it on there. We're going to start an account for exclusive content as well. If people have ideas of what else they want to see, let us know. Tweet us, email us, all that kind of stuff. We can do exclusive content that way as well, and that'll be on our website. So, anything else to add before we get Mr. Will Ferrell on the show? All right, let's go. Without further ado, Will Ferrell, welcome to the show. Welcome, Will Ferrell, to the podcast. We were not anticipating such a big name coming on the podcast. We are happy to have you.
You got so lucky because my podcast schedule during quarantine has lit up.
Yeah, I've noticed. I saw that you went on the LAFC one, so we were.
No,
just
it's only the second one, and I'm happy to do it. And yeah, I mean, Benny, you were such a big start of LAFC, and it was always fun to watch you play, and so thankful for everything you brought to the club to start us off.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It was an awesome season there. I wish it could have been more, but sometimes, business gets in the way.
It was my decision, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
I got into Bob's ear, and I was like, what are we thinking about Benny? Yeah.
All right. So anyway, this is how the podcast works. I don't know. I'm sure you've heard plenty of these before, so you kind of know how it goes. But just to reiterate, we'll start with some quick hitters where I'll ask you some warm up questions. You get those out of the way. You get warmed up. You start feeling good. We'll get into some interview questions just about your life, your career in soccer, in showbiz, all that kind of stuff. Growing up in Irvine as well, just like myself. And then at the end, you probably don't know this, but Ike will get to interrogate you in Ike's interrogation, and he gets 5 questions where you get to plead the 5th one time.
Okay.
If you go all 5 questions without pleading the 5th, you get to ask any question to any of us 3, which we must tell the truth. So if you feel comfortable that you're going to answer all 5, then start thinking of some good questions for the end of the show.
Okay.
They're going to be tougher. That's the toughest part of the season.
Yeah, as long as I don't have to eat hot wings, I'm good.
I actually saw that. How hot was the last one?
It's horrible. The last 3 are horrible.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like you were struggling, yeah.
And then And then to bring it all the way back full circle to soccer, I had finished that interview and I was literally in the stands of my son's game at Harvard Westlake, just my stomach just churning, full of hot wings, just going
milk. And
milk. Yeah, it was horrible, really horrible.
Well, I'm glad that we won't make you do that here. We actually had a similar story with our last guest that ate the hottest chili pepper in the world, and he didn't realize it was going to stay in his mouth for 5-6 hours. That was Rob Stone. So
was that a ghost pepper?
No, I guess it's hot. I thought it was a ghost pepper.
Oh, hotter than okay.
Yeah.
It's like the hottest one ever. So I don't remember the name of it, but impressive. But
yeah.
All right, so let's get going. This is the first question's an easy one. Well, at least for us. We're gonna put in our opinions, and then you get your own opinion. Most underrated movie / character, because mine's more of a character, movie or character that you've ever been in or played. So I'll tell you mine.
Okay, please.
I don't know if you saw my name there on the Zencaster. Franz Liebkind.
Franz Liebkind. Yes, I noticed the Franz Liebkind.
So I'm Jewish, and so I watched the old producers. My dad made me watch the old producers, then I watched the remake, and I'll say that that's one of your most underrated performances.
For me, my choice was Semi-Pro, and not necessarily Jackie Moon, but the whole movie in general. Because all of my friend groups, all your other movies are usually what they go to first. I always went Semi-Pro. And my Zencaster name last night was Monix, just because. I
missed Monix. Yeah, exactly.
And mine is not. So mine was Night at the Roxbury, but Ike is not accepting that answer. So I'm gonna go with the Other Guys, which is another very good one.
Other Guys.
So what's yours, Will?
I'm gonna go in definitely in terms of the undervalued is and. Still, very few people know about it is Casa de Mi Padre, a movie we did entirely in Spanish.
I've never heard of this.
I know about it. I know about
no
it.
idea.
Yeah.
I had an idea to basically, I would flip around TV and every now and then land on a Spanish language telenovela. And they would always just crack me up. And I thought, it'd be so funny to put someone from American comedy in the center of one of those movies. And so we pitched, we pitched this whole movie of, that I would put myself in a Spanish language film. And it's myself and Diego Luna. And I speak Spanish the entire movie, subtitled. And it's about this family and this drug cartel and all this stuff like that. But and it just came and went. It only had it had a very small distribution. But for people who have seen it, they give it 5 stars.
Well, all the people that listen to the podcast might go listen to it, watch it now.
So we have
we'll promote it.
We have 50 more people now.
Ed, you're undervaluing us now.
Yeah, you're selling us short. You don't know yet. He doesn't know.
All right, Casa de Mi Padre. Love it. I'm going to check that out, though.
And I would add another one that Kristen Wiig and I did. We made a Lifetime movie.
Really?
Lifetime?
Wait,
yes.
Really?
Called Deadly Adoption. That is...
This is right up my wife's alley.
We just do a straight Lifetime movie with... And if you watch it with a comedy brain, you'll laugh your ass off. If you're watching it going, wait, is this a real Lifetime movie? It fools you, and we're so proud of it because it messed with so many people's heads.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All
those
right.
two, those
couple
are
of
the
good
two
answers.
undervalued. Yeah.
All right, we're moving on to best athletes now, and there might be some mixing and matching here. So best athlete, you got to rank these 4 athletes: Ricky Bobby, if you can consider him an athlete.
Right.
The Italians, Jackie Moon, and Carlos Vela.
I would the Italians from Kicking and Screaming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I would probably rank Ricky Bobby last. He just has to sit in a car, even though even though if you've ever driven a NASCAR at high speeds, which we had to do when we were filming the movie, it is harrowing, and you have much more of a respect for that sport. However, you are sitting there for 4 hours doing nothing other than wetting yourself.
Yeah, in your pants.
So I would say Ricky Bobby 4. I would say Jackie Moon probably third.
No, I won't accept it.
I mean,
I won't accept it.
He's more of a game manager. Even though he was masterful at the granny style free throws. In fact, I had of all people Barack Obama give me shit about my basketball game because he said, I go, we should play basketball sometime. He's like, yeah, that'd be good. But I've watched you play. I'm like, yeah, I'm not bad. He's like, nope, I've seen semi-pro. I've seen semi-pro. You're not that good. I would rank the Italians second because those kids were actually kind of incredible and literally didn't know any English during that whole set. But the technical advisors in the movie would just teach them tricks and they would pick it up just like that. And then of course Vela has to be number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you'd throw Carlos somewhere in the mix instead of number one, but
I was being too serious with my answer. Yeah. Carlos he's pretty good.
He is pretty good. All right, next question. This is a twofer. So you've worked with a lot of guys, and these guys and Sal and Ike both wanted me to cut these down a little bit, but I couldn't do it. So I'm gonna give you 10 names.
Yeah.
And if there's any more, you can add anybody else. But I want to know who is out of those guys your best friend actually off camera, off the screen. So you got Chris Kattan, you got Horatio Sands, you got Steve Carell, Mark Wahlberg, John C. Reilly, Owen and Luke Wilson, Ben Stiller, Vince Vaughn, and Danny McBride.
So who? Well, I mean, gosh, I haven't talked to. Danny lives on some island in South Carolina, so I lost track of him. John C. Reilly is probably who I'm closest with. We text all the time, and
he's always you're in the same movies together.
We do a lot of things creatively, and yeah, John will just be like, "What are you doing Wednesday? Let's go to lunch." What about ribs? I'm like, okay. And we go to eat ribs. I don't know. We do random stuff like that. And I'm trying to think, everyone else on that list is probably the showbiz level friendship.
Right. Yeah, we got plenty of those in soccer too.
Yeah. Where you kind of see each other.
Right. If you see each other, you're friendly.
I did get got an email from Ferrell out of the blue saying, "How are you doing?" Are you safe and sound?
He's trying to get in a Zoom party.
Maybe he was trying to get on this podcast. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, you can let him know that we might have some time.
Yeah.
And the second question of that is: are there any of these guys? And I could list the name again, but you can come up with the name on your own. Who's the most opposite of the characters that they actually play in movies?
The most opposite.
So do you get what I'm saying by that? Just maybe not a more serious guy. So one thing that I've always heard from in like interviews and stuff from like Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld is that George is not like George at all.
Oh yeah.
So anybody like that you've ever worked with? That's
kind of true. That's kind of typical of a lot of people who do comedy. I'm trying to think of what each. I would say. I mean, Vince Vaughn is very much that fast talking kind of wheeler dealer type of guy. And I don't know. I'm stumped on that one.
No worries.
Yeah.
We gave you a lot of names. So
I failed.
No, we didn't. Yeah, we didn't give you names. Benny gave you a million names, and we were like, "Don't do that."
all right. Well, let's move on. Those are the quick hitters. The first thing that I wanted to say before
Horatio Sands
is the opposite.
He's probably not as much of a madman as he's played on. He's kind of toned his whole thing way down.
I see.
Yeah, I would have to say that.
All right. So first question of the actual interview is: who you getting a call from someone?
I'm at my internship here. So
you gonna answer it?
Watch this. Oh, it got answered. Done. I was gonna. I didn't recognize that number, and I was about to just totally.
So first question for the interview is, I'm sure everybody's wondering, and Sal has 3 kids, 3 girls, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Poor him, right? I've got
They're
3
all
kids.
under
I got
5 years old too, which is adds
under 5.
adds to it.
That's
Under
crazy.
5, yeah.
That's the same as me. I have 2 girls and a boy under 6, I guess. The oldest is 5. So our question to you is, give us some advice how to keep your house sane in quarantine with 3 other younger humans.
You won't be able to. No, it's you guys are screwed, as you know. Are you allowed to bring like a garden hose into the house at all? Like a high powered hose?
No, but we can kick them out.
We kind of run our house like a benevolent prison right now. There's just a lot of screaming and yelling, like not a lot of back and forth, just like 11 o'clock, lights out, let's go.
Slide the food under their door.
Yeah, I mean it because we have 16, 13, and 10. So at a certain point, all the modern day versions of parenting, which is, negotiating and let's now we give them choices. I never got a choice.
Yeah.
It was like this is what's for dinner, but all of those rules go out the window at a certain point, especially as they get older. You just are like, you just become your parents and and just say, we're just doing this because I said so. And I pay I do a lot of like, no, that's not your phone because I pay the bill. It's my phone. And so, but that, by the way, that is what you guys, you haven't gotten into the phone will be, you will begin to hate the phone with such a passion.
I already
right now it's my only escape. Right now it's my only escape from sanity.
But once the kids get the phone, it's like Gollum with the ring.
Yeah.
They're like, my precious. Yeah, you cannot. And it's the only thing that the threat of destroying the phone, and I'll just go like this, and I'll go, guys, what's this? What's this? They're like, I don't know. What are you doing? It's like, this is the motion of me with a hammer destroying your phone. And they're like, okay, we'll stop. So that's the only thing that has any power. The threat of
the ultimatums, right?
The ultimatum of taking away electronics. Yeah.
That's the same that I've had. I mean, Sal,
so
if I take
crazy.
away their iPad, they're lunatics. So,
hey, Will, I want to give you a little.
Hi.
More?
Hi,
you got a call.
I'm doing a podcast right now.
He's got a hard line.
Oh, that's okay. By the way, you guys, get a hard line.
That before.
They're still,
Always good in quarantine, the hard line. I'm the only celebrity who still has a hard line. That's some insight.
That's impressive.
Wait, I was calling because we have to have a plumber to come to the toilet overflow.
Oh, you just had the toilet overflow.
So,
Wait, which one?
the new fancy one.
Oh,
because
okay.
Matthias, by mistake, dropped a cardboard roll in there,
Yeah.
and he just tried to flush it down because he didn't want to fish it out.
He was doing the toilet paper challenge.
The plumber's on the toilet.
That is amazing.
But we all have to wear masks, so I'll tell you when he's here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Okay. So, newsflash: Matthias, the 13-year-old, just tried to jam. He dropped half of a toilet roll into the toilet.
That's precious. It's like
which is
flushing dollars
yeah,
down
exactly.
the toilet.
The perfect timing talking about kids.
Instead of trying to fish it out because he's too lazy, and he just tried to flush it down, and now it's exploded. So the plumber's on his way. All right.
I was about to say I'm going to give you some soccer rep right here. I remember the first time that we spoke early in the year in 2018. I think it was whose house was it? Was it?
It probably was Peter's house.
No,
maybe?
was it Peter's? No, I don't think it was Peter's. I think it might have been Larry's. Yeah, it was Larry's.
Okay, Larry's. Yeah.
So we were at Larry's house, one of the owners for LAFC, and I got to meet you there, and we spoke a little bit. I remember you telling me that your sons played soccer, and you're trying to understand. And you played, I think, right? You played at University High School, right?
No, I just played club, and then actually when I got to high school, I started playing basketball. So
okay. Yeah. But you had, a background in soccer, but you wanted to learn more about it. And then I remember the last game of the year, the unfortunate event against Iko Para over there and Sporting Kansas City.
Yeah.
We were walking down the long hallway at Children's Mercy Park and get back on the bus, and we were talking about the game. And I remember, maybe you don't remember this, but I remember you talking about it and really understanding not only what had happened in this game, but what our strengths and weaknesses were kind of as a team, and kind of, we were talking about how we looked going forward into the playoffs. And so my question is, one, I think that you immersed yourself into soccer throughout 2018, and I'm sure since, but like, how has that ride been from the beginning till now?
Well, I mean, it's I was and I'm sure you guys went through this yourself. Well, you're much younger than I am, but as a kid from the 70s, I was the weird kid in my neighborhood who my mom signed me up for this thing called AYSO. Everyone was playing normal sports, and then she's like, "I signed you up for this thing called soccer." I'm like, "What?" And that's when, but I loved it right from the beginning. And that's when the coverage, the only coverage you could get on anything, this is obviously pre-cable, they used to do a weekly show on Sundays on PBS called Soccer Made in Germany. I don't know if you've ever heard of this show, but it was like an old-fashioned, just a highlight show of the Bundesliga. And I just remember sitting there and watching this grainy footage of, and that's when like the European leagues play with the all-white ball, like the Premier League. And so I've always loved the game. I've always I kind of got talked out of playing in high school because I was 6'1.5" as a freshman in high school, and everyone came to the basketball games and no one went to the soccer games. So I was a star of the freshman basketball team, which was the highlight of my sports career, by the way. MVP of the basketball team, co-MVP of the football team, and never to be heard from again. But if I had stuck with soccer, I probably would have started on varsity as a freshman, and that was like going to be such a big part of my life, and it ended up not in a way. So to get to have the chance to be involved with LAFC, and then to be able to kind of watch from a more intimate place, watch the games with people from the ownership, talk with the coaches, this and that, and to kind of be able to pick apart what was happening on the field and have a better understanding that's just been so much fun. And I have to say that I think, a lot had been made about how big the LAFC ownership group was, with 30 people and all this. They kind of took advantage of Hollywood in a good way, I think. But I have to say, there's a lot of people in that group who really who really know the game pretty well, and earnestly like talking about the players and strategy and this and that. So I've been able to kind of get that much more informed just going to our games and watching the league.
So are you gonna? I know you wanted to ask him something about some of the trips that he's been on?
Yeah. So you traveled down to Lyon.
Yeah.
With the team. Like, how was that experience overall? Like, was it kind of what you expected, or?
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, it was great. It was making us laugh because they had like 2 massive bodyguards with us wherever we went, and we just didn't really need it. And there was 2 massive bodyguards in a hotel that was relatively empty, and just following. I'm like, you guys don't have to make like, nope, we want to make sure everything's good. And I'm like, okay, but that was so fun to kind of to travel down there to get to experience that stadium, that following. What was cool was the level of appreciation from the Lyon side that we had made the trip down there, and the Lyon fans and that ownership group, they were just really like, wow, thanks for coming all the way down here. This is so cool. And there was a real, outside of who was going to win or lose, there was a real kind of shared kind of interest in just getting to play the game, and we got to walk on the field, and I was also amazed at how many people, how many of the Lyon fans even knew who I was, and I would say 90% of them were like waving and like, thanks for coming, and then 10% were giving me the finger, and
it's always great going down to Mexico.
It's always great.
It is,
but it was a combination of like, give me the finger and then laughing and then waving. It was like there was a very while they wanted to beat LAFC, they still, like I said, they were just excited that people made the trip.
Yeah, and then you guys pulled off a miracle. Now, Bob won't call it a miracle, but the fact that you guys lost 2-0 in Mexico and then came back and won 3-0 at home,
so crazy.
It's pretty close to a miracle in terms of like historical MLS comebacks.
Pretty close, and pretty such a great win in the sense that they didn't really have to do much except park the bus in front of the goal. And those guys somehow got 3 goals. It was crazy.
Yeah, I think it could have been more, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys were on top of them pretty much from the get-go, and it seemed like a matter of time. It was whether you guys were able to get those 3 goals before the end of the 90 minutes. That's
kind of the magic of that 3-2-5-2 and that base of that fan base there at Bank of California Stadium, and just that is that atmosphere is at least, I think, a goal or 2 goals difference a lot of times.
Axel breakers.
Is the plumber yet? Oh, never mind. Okay, this house is a lot of activity,
a lot of stuff going on here.
Yeah.
All right, I want to bring you back to the last game when I was still there, 2018. We went to play Sporting Kansas City. My good buddy, who wasn't a good buddy that day, Matt Beasler, if you remember.
Yes.
He called you out on a radio show saying, I see this guy having fun out there, and why doesn't he come over here and check it out what it's like here?
And I did.
Yeah.
And how did that go?
And the rest is history.
I was behind him in warm-ups when you started when you were talking a little bit of shit to him. I started laughing. You said you were just shouting. He actually didn't recognize, or he didn't hear you for the first,
I don't think so. Yeah.
But then you finally got his attention, and you gave him the "I see you" look with the eyes, and I was just laughing.
And his head kind of whipped around, like, "Whoa, you're here!" and then he kind of went, "Hey, have fun today."
Standard V's.
As if I was going to, okay, yeah, I will. I'm going to be in a box drinking beers, watching you guys try to kill each other. I will have fun. But I was it's funny that he kind of threw down the gauntlet there, because I was planning on trying to come to that game anyway. So, but you know what? That was just another, that obviously, Benny, it would have been nice to have won that game, but it was just another, every time we get to go see a different stadium and see the other fans and all that stuff like that. And also you get to see how many fans from LAFC travel and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's always still a positive experience.
Yeah, that loss hurt, but I wouldn't say it hurt nearly as much as the Salt Lake game after that. The Salt Lake game after that, we didn't deserve that, did we?
That was a shocker. Yeah. Who was the guy with the weird karate kick goal?
Krylak.
Yeah. I just couldn't believe that one went in. That was just bizarre.
Yeah, and then Walker banged one off his nose or something. They had 3 goals off of 2 shots. That I still can't.
Yeah,
I can't process that one.
I know. But,
yeah, that's soccer.
That's the game.
That is the game. Who's gonna ask this man about El Tráfico? Because I can't do it since I was part of it.
You can go ahead, Ike. I know that you love this topic.
No, that's not that I necessarily love this topic. I've never played a part of it.
El Tráfico.
Yes.
The name that no one likes that's still going to stick. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
it's definitely sticking.
For me, it's must-see TV. Every single game. I was at an NFL game here in Minnesota on the playoff game. I left at halftime because I said, I'm going to watch this playoff game. I was with a bunch of guys. If you want to come with me, I'm leaving at half. If you're not coming with me, I'm gone. I left at half. They texted me like, where'd you go? I want to ride. And I'm like driving off, and they're like running down the street to try to get in my car because they wanted to watch as well. So we've had a lot of Galaxy guys on and a lot of LAFC guys on. We've had their perspective of El Tráfico. I kind of want to hear it from, an ownership's perspective of what those games are like to witness, to be a part of, what was going through your mind, and pretty much all of them, because people lose their minds, really.
Yeah, they really do. And you hear about the Galaxy fans ripped up a bunch of seats at one point.
I didn't even know that.
Like literally ripped them out of their moorings, and then I saw some video of LAFC Galaxy fans, start to rumble, and it was just an LAFC fan kind of knocked a guy's styrofoam cooler out of his hand, and the beers exploded, and then everyone's like, and then nothing really happened. So I think it's a beautifully heated rivalry to the point where nothing's really going to happen in a dangerous, violent way. I think it. But it is amazing that it's from the get-go. It's been 2 teams that obviously Galaxy with all the history and all the championships, and I know from a LAFC really has to. I know Tom Penn has talked about this before. The Galaxy had to allow for I guess they had some sort of rights thing where they could block another team coming to LA. So, LAFC really owes a lot to the Galaxy in a way for allowing another team to come to LA. But they were smart and they were right. It would just make the marketplace that much stronger, and it'd make soccer that much more. Because when have you talked about soccer this much in Los Angeles?
Yeah, right.
It really became combustible right away.
And in that same sense, so this is my question, because as a player, you never think about this. And that game, the very first game against them where we lost 4-3 was, besides maybe the last game of the year where we lost in the playoffs, was the ultimate low. And that was only the 3rd game of the year for me and probably most players. But I'm wondering if, as an owner, do you guys, as much as you guys want to win that game, do you guys take solace that you lose in such a crazy way that it's going to generate a rivalry right away? Is there that in the back of your head?
I think it's perfect theater, and you had Zlatan, making all of his proclamations and, kind of going after Carlos and Carlos going, wait a minute. I love how Vela at first was like, he's very good too. And then it was like, all of a sudden it was like, wait, shut up. I'm the best player in the MLS. What are you talking about? Even Zlatan pushed a player like Carlos Vela, who's, pretty diplomatic, to kind of go, no, you need to be quiet. And but I think it's I think both sides were probably really happy that not only is it a great rivalry, but there's already been just some amazing games, and I think it's going to be one of those matches. The couple times both teams will play each other in the future, it won't matter. It'll be that cliche thing of throw the records out the window. Teams will rise up to play at a different level when those two teams play each other.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder what it's going to be without Zlatan, because he was definitely a focal piece in terms of like the rivalry beginning.
No question.
I'm curious to see how those games will play out now.
Yeah.
All right. So you might not know this, but we have PIs all over the league. We have insider information on people.
Hollywood as well. We have them in Hollywood.
We have in Hollywood. Yeah, we might know some people that you actually don't.
Quite an operation.
Yeah.
No idea.
So in this quarantining COVID-19, difficult situation that we're in, I'm hearing that there's been some video conference calls amongst some of the higher ups at LAFC to figure out things that need to happen, and I'm hearing some engineer jumped in on one of these calls.
Yes, there was a someone who works in the basement of the of the stadium who actually got in on the team-wide Zoom conference call for that week and asked Bob Bradley a couple questions. First of all, he had I can't find his wig. He was wearing a wig.
Bob was, or
no,
or the engineer?
The engineer.
I would have loved if Bob was wearing a wig.
Shoulder length hair, and was asking Bob if he was jealous of his hair, which I don't think Bob thought it was too funny. We did it. We did it. We surprised. They just have a weekly meeting, and Larry Freeman asked if I would jump on and be like a surprise guest, but then I wore a whole costume at the same time. So that was pretty fun.
I heard there was some TP missing as well in the.
I complained about people stealing the toilet paper, and that the fans were not going to have a quality experience if we don't have any toilet paper, and that's my ass on the line.
Literally, huh?
I'm in charge of that stuff. Don't mess with me. Yeah.
That's great. So, I had a couple questions. Are you guys going to jump in, or am I just going to run down my questions?
So this is kind of off topic real quick, but so my family has a few restaurants in San Diego, right? They're looking to add another one to their portfolio, and I've heard that you've eaten at one quite a bit with some friends. The name of it is Charlie Lancer's. I don't know if you remember it.
Yeah, didn't it burn down to the ground? I thought there was some arson involved.
Okay.
Good old Charlie Lancer's. Yeah, of course.
Steakhouse, right?
It's a classic place.
Is it a steakhouse? Was it?
I think it was a steakhouse.
Yeah,
steak and fish. Good piece of fish you could get there. Yeah.
Perfect.
So yeah, you should invest on it.
Yeah, maybe we'll bring it from the ground up. Yeah.
I know. Is it a good time to open a new restaurant right now? Probably not.
You gotta have a drive-through.
Yeah.
So with your experience going, in MLS, what stadium? 3252 is great. I love playing at LAFC, which I'm 2-0 there. Just so we're clear. I'm 3-0-1 against LAFC in general. So I'm riding the wave.
I'm going to have to remember to run onto the field and tackle you for the warm-ups.
Hey, you guys should sign him, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
I can't say anything contractually right now. But so, what venues have you gone to that you've been really impressed with? Just in MLS, or maybe that you weren't impressed with? I don't know.
I mean, I haven't gotten to go to that many. I've been up to Seattle, but that was for the first game. And, we were just all so enamored with the fact that that this was the inaugural game for the club, and we could have been playing at, I don't know, some Federal Way junior college, and it would have been exciting.
Yeah.
But that was obviously a cool experience. And then last year we went up to Portland, and that was fantastic. That's a fantastic atmosphere up there. And otherwise, I've those are the only 2 road games, and Kansas City. But Beasley kind of spoils that place. So
Beasley is another player.
DeMarcus Beasley.
Yeah, DeMarcus Beasley is another player.
But I call Beasler Beasley.
Oh, got it.
Or Bessler.
No, and I would like to. I'd like to kind of try to, check out more of the road.
Yeah,
road
Atlanta's
stadiums.
a good one. Atlanta's a good one.
Yeah, that looks amazing on TV.
Yeah.
And it'd be fun to go watch. I don't know how much longer they're going to play in Yankee Stadium, but that'd be fun to just. Even though turf looks
now they're playing
horrible.
at the Mets Stadium, MetLife or Shea or whatever. It's called.
They switched over there.
Well, they're
Citi Field.
City Fields.
City
It's not Shea Stadium from 1997.
Yeah, you get it wrong every time, Benny. I don't know how.
I just remember Shea, like Shea Stadium is.
Mike Piazza is still out there, man.
As long as they're not playing at the Meadowlands. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think they're splitting some games. Well, now there's no games, but I don't know. I remember they were going to play some Champions League games at the Met Stadium. So,
but then there was big talk of a soccer-only stadium in Manhattan that was going to be built.
Really?
But I don't know
that for a while. I think.
I don't know who could afford
in
that.
Manhattan would be impressive.
Yeah, that'd be impressive.
That would be. You mentioned going to Portland, and I heard another little inside story that there was some late parade that night.
There was, we had to walk. We couldn't get an Uber back to the hotel, so we literally had to walk back from the stadium through. They have some electric parade. They have a parade that takes place at night. At that, I don't even know what time of year it was. March, maybe.
No, that was when you guys played them last year. I think it was like middle of the year because it was their first game that they had opened. So it must have been like June or something.
Oh, it wouldn't have been that late. Must have been May.
Really?
Or early June. But yeah, they have some. It was the weekend where they have this nighttime parade they have every year, in which they had things like so it's like high school marching bands and things like that. But then they had like 7 DeLoreans lined up from Back to the Future, like this. A car driving club. You could only own DeLoreans that had all these Christmas tree lights on them. And so I started marching with one of the bands, and they didn't notice that I was marching along with them. So that was exciting.
Yeah. Portland's an under.
Portland weird. Keep Portland weird.
Yeah.
Sal played in Portland.
I was there for 3 years. Yeah,
and he had a food truck.
I had a food cart there. Yep. And,
nice.
It was a good experience, and I still got a lot of love for those fans.
That's a great. They love their soccer up there.
Yeah, they do really well.
They get overlooked these days with all the new teams, but they're up there for sure.
They're one of the original. Yeah.
All right. One of the last questions that I have in terms of the interview before giving Ike the reins, which is always the worst part of the interview for you guys.
I hope the plumber doesn't show up. We have to go.
So last question for me is: you invited Matthew McConaughey to come to one of the games last year. And I remember watching that game, and this man was feverishly writing down notes in his journal somewhere, notebook. Yes. Okay. So I'm wondering, what advice were you giving him for him to be so adamant to write these things down?
I just remember he was documenting everything with his phone. And God, I didn't remember. Did he bring a note? I didn't even remember that part.
I saw several times when like the camera would be on him, he'd be writing something down.
I think he's. Who knows?
You don't remember telling him anything?
It was his emotions during the game.
He was journaling. He was feverishly journaling. He's probably writing song lyrics that were coming to him. No, it's funny that I didn't notice because I would have gone like, "What are you writing in that book?" Like, watch the game. I do know he was kind of blown away by the whole experience, and he's very into, I don't know with our current situation right now if the plans for the team in Austin are still on track, but he was asking me a lot of questions that I was like, look, I don't know. I'm just like the show pony here for the team. I don't really know how the economics work on all this stuff. But,
just take my money.
He was really into all the facets and breaking it down, and a lot of smart questions that I didn't have the answers for.
But he definitely wrote something down. So
he wrote something down. So I'll have to
maybe
text
what
him
not to do.
What was in your journal that you were writing at the game? Can you please reveal it?
All right. Well, those are all the questions I had. Sal, you got anything else before I?
No, that's good. I think
Wait, Sal, what was your food truck? What did you sell?
So it was called Zizo's FC. So Zizo's my last name. FC food cart, also football club, kind of. Gotcha. Nice little pun there.
Right.
And so like I said, my family has Italian restaurants in Little Italy, San Diego. So we did like some calamari, some meatball subs.
And were you
cannolis.
Actually in the food truck working it yourself?
No, I wasn't. I had my friend from San Diego actually came up and moved there, and he was doing it. But it's a bit of a cult following over there in Portland. So
gotcha.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Does the food truck still up there in Portland?
It's been changed probably 4 or 5 times. It was more of a stationary truck, because they make them. They put them in those blocks.
They plan them.
Yeah,
right.
They plan them. So it's been painted over probably 15 times since then.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, without further ado, Will, before the plumber gets here,
yes,
I'm gonna put you in the hot seat. Ike's interrogation. You're entering it. You know the rules. 5 questions. You get to plead the 5th once. If you don't plead the 5th, I hope you got a good question for one of us. Are you ready?
Okay.
You're all
right. Here we go.
Like.
I don't think we'll see. I don't think you'll plead the 5th. You're pretty honest and open, but we'll see. Question number 1. What actor would you cast?
I plead the 5th. I'm sorry. I just got so nervous. I was
Question number 2? Question mark?
No. That's good for Ike's confidence.
Okay, go ahead.
Ike hasn't been able to get anybody to plead the 5th, so that was good for his confidence.
Okay. Yeah.
What actor would I cast? Sorry.
As Bob Bradley in your hypothetical LAFC movie.
So I have some good ideas for this too. But
that's such a good one.
I know. Don't be wrong too, because Bob seems like a militant that might come after you when he sees you. So,
you know who I would do? I'd do a younger Robert Duvall, kind of.
Robert Duvall got too much hair
in the great Santini kind of phase. If you guys ever saw that movie,
I did not.
He was a Marine dad.
Okay. So my pick was Ed Harris.
Ed Harris is
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Or Malkovich, John Malkovich.
Sal's got more time to think about it.
A weird, surreal portrayal of Bob Bradley.
We could do inside Bob Bradley. Or what was it? Being Bob Bradley, right? Being John Malkovich.
Being Bob Bradley.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Question number 2. Who would you take from the LA Galaxy roster to be on LAFC, and who would you return from LAFC to the Galaxy? And we can open it up to the last few years.
You might have to open it up because I'm just trying to think if the roster. Who is?
We can help you with some Galaxy names.
Who is? Oh God, the really good playmaking forward or
Pavone.
Good player.
I'd take Pavone. Is he Uruguayan or is he?
He's Argentinian.
Argentinian.
I'm curious who you're going to send back. You got to send somebody in a similar position there. You got some superstars in that position. So
I would take Pavone, and I would send that crazy Honduran goalie we had that first year.
Booba?
I'd send Booba.
He actually
send-
played
I might-
against. He played against Sporting Kansas City.
But I might send Boobo for no one. We don't have to get anyone back. I mean, I know he's gone, but yeah,
is that a fair answer, Ike?
that's probably not fair. That's not fair because he's not on the team anymore, right?
I thought he was about to say Diego Rossi, and I was like, wow.
We'll allow it.
Yeah, we'll allow it.
We'll allow it.
Question number 3.
I would send Jordan Harvey.
Oh wow.
We both actually went to college with Jordan.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we're UCLA, so we both play with him there.
Yeah, I'll send Jordan. He'll think that's funny.
No, he'll be crushed, but it's still a good answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Fan question. What is the one thing you wish you could change about LAFC?
The one thing that I could change.
That's a tough one.
I would actually, well, this is an easy question now to answer, but I would actually change the size of the stadium to more capacity, or at least have built it with the potential to expand it. Because I think they can a little bit, but it's not as much as you'd think.
How many people do you think you guys could regularly get to fill out the stadium?
I think you could get 30.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you definitely can get 30. I mean, it's 22 and it's been pretty much sold out every game, right?
And it's pretty much sold out. And just in like I said, I'm just still in that youth soccer world with all the boys, and the amount of kids and families and people who come up and are who say they try to go to a game but they haven't been able to. I think you could add another 8,000 people.
Yeah, that'd be cool. As long as you don't close down the skyline there to LA.
Yeah,
that's important.
That's a big part of it. Yeah.
All right, 3 questions, 2 to go.
Number 4.
Come on, Ike. Give him a heater.
Wait. And I would also, the other thing I would change, and this is what I thought was originally going to happen. I would make the whole Ollie the Falcon who lands on the emblem of the opposing team.
Yeah.
I would train Ollie to rip that, whatever the emblem is, to shreds, like fill it full of like hamburger meat or something, so that when you landed on, whatever, the Portland Timbers emblem, it would just get ripped to shred and there'd be blood and guts and everything like that. I would change that. Because I thought that was also going to happen, and then the Falcon just gently lands on the thing.
What do falcons eat?
Falcons eat like rabbits and squirrels. And
just like throw a rabbit out there with like a Portland Timbers jersey on?
And let nature, take over.
That's great.
Question number 4. In terms of talent, rank these players on LAFC from first to worst.
Bella? I'm feeling I plead the 5th on this.
Let's see if we can. We'll see.
I'm curious to see the 4 that you're going to give them.
Atuesta, Rossi, Kay, and Vela.
Oh. Well, I'm probably not going to see any of those guys for a while. So I think I'm pretty safe. I would say K 4th, Atuesta 3rd, Rossi 2nd, Vela 1st.
That's
pretty fair.
Probably accurate. Yeah, that's
guys.
I mean, Carlos is a gimme, right? Carlos is a gimme.
That's fair.
The other 3 are tough. I mean, Mark's still really early in his career. So is, I mean, I guess all 3 of them are. All 3 of them are really early. So
yeah. So Mark Anthony,
and they're and different ways that they play.
Yeah.
Too. So it's hard to
put Diego anything but 2 when he scores so many damn goals.
Crazy.
No. Atuesta was a pretty.
I mean,
big
Edwards a baller, dude. So is Mark. But
yeah. So Mark,
but it's also crazy how when those 2 guys aren't on the field, how the middle of the field it's just not controlled the same way. So
The thing I'll say though is Diego's been the most consistent out of those three over the 2 years. Easily.
2 years.
Edward was up and down the first year, and Mark got injured. So Edward was up and down. He was fantastic last year. In my opinion, he was the second best player after Carlos last year. But Diego's been consistently scoring goals
all that I know that's going to say is Mark Anthony K stinks, according to Will Ferrell. That's all that matters.
Mark's a baller, dude. I back Mark any day of the week.
I do too, but not Will, apparently.
Well,
clickbait.
But I would say this. He's the finest Canadian player.
of the bunch.
Of the bunch. He's the number one Canadian player on that list.
Oh God! All right, question number 5. Which one of your films would you burn in exchange for an MLS Cup, and why?
Which would I burn? Wow. Just the image of me like burning a movie.
Just so straight weird. Up wish you never had done it. Just burn this one out of my
the old movie reels, dropping it in a fireplace.
Okay, well, I will say that everything I've worked on, I've never had a moment of in the middle of it going, oh, I wish I hadn't done this, because they've all been great work experiences. But when you get a chance to go back and look at something, I remember flipping around, on cable and catching 10 to 15 minutes of Bewitched with me and Nicole Kidman. And I had a little pang of like, what was I thinking? And more in her defense, what was she thinking? Being in a movie with me. And I was like, oh, this thing just didn't work top to bottom. I don't know. Yeah.
So Bewitched.
The world would be a better place without Bewitched and LAFC with an MLS Cup, according to Will Ferrell.
And with the stakes being that high.
Yeah.
For an MLS Cup.
Right.
Okay, sure.
All right. Well, you've answered all 5 questions. Ike is yet again unsuccessful in getting someone to plead the 5th. So with that, Will, you get to ask any one of us a question we must answer honestly.
My question is actually for all 3 of you. What's the most vile substance that has been thrown or dropped on you from an opposing fan?
That's easy for me. A bag of pee from Panama.
From where,
Bag
Sal?
of piss. Panama.
And is it just warm pee?
It was just being thrown. I was kind of dodging them,
And it was a direct hit?
Couple, yeah. I also got a nickel got thrown at me in Canada, or I don't even know if it was. Yeah, it was actually an American nickel in Canada. Hit my knuckle when I was warming up.
How does anyone throw a nickel that far?
I don't know, and it hurt. It really hit my knuckle, and I was like, "What the hell just hit my knuckle?" Yeah, pretty strange.
Okay.
Mine was
piss.
The same, but I think there was more in that pee bag than just. I'm confident, but it didn't hit me. I was same as Sal, ducking and dodging down in Argentina, actually youth under 20s.
Yeah, for me, I'm pretty sure it was when we played in Azteca for the U.S. and they were throwing, and honestly, it could have been anything. I mean, it could have been a mixture of piss with beer, or just piss smelled like beer by now because they had drank so much. They threw batteries down. I don't think I ever got hit with anything though, but it landed.
But it's just raining down.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's like 100,000 people?
That is close to 100,000 people. Yeah. I think
crazy.
It might be one of the biggest, besides maybe the Maracanã in Brazil. I think it might be the biggest stadium. So it was.
But even that, it puts you on edge, man, because you don't know what's coming at you. You're trying to focus.
I'd rather get hit with a bag of piss than a battery, though. Imagine a battery from like 20 floors up.
But you got to worry about all of that while you're trying to play, and that's a problem.
Big D battery? No way.
I think there was a time
I'd rather get hit with a soft piss.
The wet piss?
The wet bag of piss.
I think Landon one time got a banana thrown at him, and he like picked it up and ate it.
He ate it, yeah.
Just in an act of defiance? Yeah.
All right, Will. We really appreciate you coming on the podcast. It was
real quick.
Thanks, you guys.
Real quick, Will, could I ask you a favor before? So I play for the San Diego Loyal is the
Right.
USL team, the new team. Would you mind saying "You Stay Loyal, San Diego" in your famous Ron Burgundy
Okay.
voice?
Yes, hold on. Let me get into character.
Okay.
Are you gonna howl now, Brown Cowlis?
Unique New York. And wait, what am I supposed to say? You stay loyal?
You Stay Loyal, San Diego.
Okay. You stay loyal, San Diego.
Perfect.
All right, well, we really appreciate it. Good luck
Hey,
with
thanks,
the
guys.
with the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I swear to God, that's the plumber. Right?
And stay healthy there with quarantining,
Right.
and then good luck the rest of the year once we start back up.
Thanks, Benny. Thanks. You
Will.
guys too. Stay
Appreciate
safe.
it.
All right.
Really.
See ya.
Take care.
Wow, Will Ferrell, boys. Thanks, Will, again for coming on the podcast. It was a lot of funny stories, and I don't know, man. It's just fun talking to a dude that not only knows soccer and has immersed himself within the league the last couple of years, but such a big star in Hollywood as well, and done some awesome movies.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, he's in my life the number one comedy guy that I grew up watching. So that was a pretty cool experience, and I hope you guys like it.
Yeah, the world is ours, boys. Let's take it by storm. If we
The world is our oyster.
if we have another podcast, but I will say this: we promised some big things. I think we've been hitting at that season 2. I think we're gonna get even weirder guys listening to this. So
It can only get weirder from here.
we're gonna try. We're gonna
get Will Ferrell's plumber on next. And for those of you that are listening, because last time we had like 3 people listening to the outro. Like I said, GoFundMe. Link is in the bio. I believe it's GoFundMe/F/BSI the podcast. But if not, it's in the bio. Get to 10K, or this will be the last time you ever hear our voices.
Please,
It's an
guys,
ultimatum.
don't get to 10K. I need a break. I'm just kidding. Get to 10K. It's a win-win for me. It's a win-win.
All right. Thanks a lot for coming on with or listening to us. What is it that I usually say? No, I forgot. Thanks for showing up. And I hope you guys all enjoyed it. We'll see you next
If you
time.
liked the episode, rate us, drop us a review, let us know how we're doing.
Yeah,
Thank
all
you
the
guys.
social platforms that you can find us on. So
Yeah.
there's that too. All right. Thanks a lot for showing up today. We'll see you next time.